Hola, buenas noches, padres. Gracias por venir a la presentación de la clase de español. Hi, I'm Rebecca Lewis. Your student probably refers to me as Profa, and welcome to just a little bit about Español 400, Spanish 400. Give me just a quick moment. I'll share my screen, and then I just have a little presentation to share with you all. I so wish we could be in person. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it. Thought I'd start off with a cute little joke. Maybe you'll understand that. If not, it's perfectly okay. Every time I see it, it makes me laugh. Okay, so I just want to talk a tiny bit about me, a little bit about what the class is all about, what 400 is all about specifically. And then I want to talk about something I'm super excited about trying this year. It's brand new for me. A little nervous about it too, and it's ungrading, which maybe your student has talked about. I want to talk about it a little bit this evening. Okay, so here's just a little bit about me when I'm not teaching Spanish. I'm married, I have two kids, a 5th grader and an 8th grader. They're both students in the district. And then there's a picture of our dog. He's the most amazing thing ever. That's Jackson. I'm obsessed with him. I'm kind of a Washington native. I wasn't born in Washington, but I've spent most of my life in Washington, grew up on Whidbey Island. When I'm not teaching, I love to travel when we can travel. I love to cook, exercise, work in my garden. I love chocolate. I actually can't say I like chocolate. I love it. I'm also learning French just a little bit on my own. Hopefully this upcoming summer, my family and I will get to go to France among a couple other places. My experience with Spanish, I took it all the way through high school and college, studied specifically in Mexico, and have traveled to quite a few different Spanish-speaking countries. And this is going to be my 22nd year teaching Spanish. Why I love high school, why I teach Spanish, just a few of the reasons right there. I love high schoolers. I think they're so much fun. Maybe it's because I myself enjoyed high school. I don't know, but high schoolers are just, I don't know. I get that group. I really like working with this age group. Love teaching Spanish. I fell in love with the language when I started taking it in high school, and I've never looked back. I actually love learning languages. Like I said, I'm learning French. And I mean, really, if I could speak many, many languages, 5 or more, that would be fantastic. But little by little, we've got a busy life right now. I love being able to share my excitement and my passion for the language and the cultures with the students. And I love it when there's that moment where it clicks and their risk-taking and their bravery has paid off and they can communicate and they feel proud of themselves. It's a beautiful thing. They may have shared with you Spanish 400 is a full immersion course, no English. And the expectation is not just on my part, but also on their part, that the minute they walk into my classroom, the minute that we're gathered together, it is an environment where English is not allowed and where we get to play with our Spanish, create with the language, make mistakes, get a little bit of messy, have fun, not take ourselves too seriously, take risks, and just keep growing in our language. If they do that, they walk in and they embrace this no Inglés, I know, and they play along and they buy into it, I know by the end of the year, their Spanish will be so much better than it is right now. Everyone will grow. Just a few statements about my approach to language learning. You can't learn the language without learning all the different cultures. And we do some really fantastic cultural exploration in 400. I've said this before, we need to play with the language, take risks, get messy, be willing to make mistakes and learn from those. I pride myself on having a really highly communicative class. It definitely helps when the students buy into that and take those chances and only speak Spanish, and that will allow us to maintain that high communication level. And whatever we can do to connect with each other, to share about ourselves, the more comfortable we are with one another, the more willing we are to take those risks and watch our language grow and be able to move from talking about ourselves to really being able to explore the greater world and our community. In 400, it is an IB course, so we are following IB topics. Those are 5 topics right there. We touch upon them throughout the year. Sometimes in a much more narrow focus than social organization. That's a pretty big category. But we will cover these topics and do all kinds of different activities within these topics, exploring our vocab, exploring grammar, exploring culture, so that the students that decide to take the IB test in May are prepared and have had that exposure. The culture focus throughout the year, you can see, are these countries. We talk about other countries as well, but we definitely do a deeper dive into these countries. We do an art unit, which I'm so excited about. We haven't been able to do the art unit the last 2 years because we've been remote. I'm so hoping that we are not remote in the fall, or excuse me, in the spring when we do the art unit. It is so much fun. I don't know if you can see behind me, there's some examples of some student art. My room is decorated with student art, and I can't wait to add more examples. And then we'll do a film fest in May after the test. So in addition to cultural aspects of some of these countries, we also dive into other aspects of culture. Grammar, it's definitely covered. We have to keep developing our grammar, and we will do a few review concepts at the beginning of the year, and then throughout the year, we will drop in some review. So it's not like the entire first quarter is review and then we get to new stuff. We actually get to new stuff really quickly, but we always sprinkle in review throughout. The big focus of 400 is the subjunctive, which we'll start learning here late fall, early winter. The thing I want to spend the most amount of time, and the thing I'm super excited about, but just a tiny little bit nervous about as well, is this whole idea of ungrading. The idea behind ungrading doesn't mean that nothing gets graded. It's just not a chasing of points and a mathematical coordination here of all these things adding up. What is your percentage? The idea behind ungrading is really to get the students in check with their abilities in Spanish and to really reflect on where they are with their Spanish and what they can do. So the focus is going to be so much on what can you do with your Spanish at this moment, and then throughout the year as we keep adding more vocab, more grammar, how is your language growing? Because that's the point. We want to be able to be further along with our language at the end of the year than we are now. But by doing this ungrading approach, the students are really aware of that every step of the way. They will be able to articulate where their level is now, and as we work throughout the year, hopefully seeing growth in their level. So rather than points, the idea of ungrading is that it's a very extensive feedback, do, redo cycle, lots of self-reflection, and definitely big component of it is conferences between the student and myself. With that idea, we are going to collaborate and talk about where your skills are. What should your grade be? The grade will be directly connected to their skill level in the language. So how will this look in parent view? There will still be tracking of assignments in parent view. I know a lot of parents really rely on that form of communication. For the first couple of weeks, you won't see an actual graded percentage. That will happen after our first conference, which we'll do in a few weeks once we've kind of gotten through some of the early stuff at the beginning of the year. But I have a document that I will be sharing with the students prior to our first conference. And in that, they will look at where their language is, do some self-assessment on that, and that will be connected to a letter grade. We will have conversations about where their skill are. We will look at evidence, the different assignments that we've been doing that are tied to those skills and those standards. So they've got evidence to say, well, here's where I am with my language. Look, this is the feedback you've given. This is the evidence of that. And then we'll talk about the letter grade. Is it an A-? Is it a D+? Where is it? So they'll have documentation to work with that in preparation for our conferences. And we'll have conferences quite a few times throughout the semester to determine the letter grade. So it'll be a few weeks before a letter grade shows up, but after that first conference, it'll be there. But you can always check and see the assignments that we're doing, the standards that we're working toward, are they meeting that learning outcome? If so, it'll be indicated as a 2. If they've started working on that, but they haven't met it, so it's kind of a work in progress, you'll see that in the grade book as a 1. And if they haven't completed the assignment at all, haven't even attempted it, it'll be indicated as an NC, no credit. If at any point between the conferences, you really want to know kind of where they are, how they're progressing, you can always reach out to me. And I'm saying the same thing to students. We don't need to wait until we conference. We can always talk earlier. Some students get a little antsy if they don't know what their grade is. But the idea with ungrading is to move away from always thinking about what is my grade and really focusing on where is my Spanish and what am I doing with my Spanish. Most of the students, when you ask them why are they taking a language, for the most part, it's really because they want to learn another language. They want to be able to communicate. And so this gets us focusing on that. Okay, you want to learn the language. Well, let's do that. And show me what you can do with it. Lots of opportunities to do that. This whole idea of do, redo, this feedback cycle, what this will look like is maybe a student will do an assignment and it hasn't met standard. So they'll get it back with feedback from me, very specific feedback of things they need to work on. They will work on that. They will turn it back in until they meet the standards. So it might be a couple times that they work on something, and maybe the very first time it's met the standard. If they're having to redo things multiple times, we will also meet the student and I and just make sure that they're not going down the wrong path or not understanding something. So there'll be lots of opportunities for them to not just blindly look at the feedback and just hope they're doing what they're supposed to, but really the guidance that they are moving in the right direction. Although there are grades, Parent View will still be organized in different categories of skills. So you can see these are the categories right there. So we can kind of break out the specific skills and focus on, is it reading production or reading comprehension? Is it written production? Was that some type of assessment that incorporated a lot of things? Was this just a practice work that we are doing to develop some of these bigger skills? So you'll still see the categories. It's just that they're not weighted. And there's those that 2, 1, and no credit. There won't always be homework. There's definitely going to be homework, but when there isn't homework, I do encourage that the students go to resources like Quizlet, Conjuguemos, different places to practice vocab and grammar. And I have lots of links on my website as well for different things that they can do outside of class to connect with the language. I know that there'll probably be lots of questions about ungrading. Like I said, this is brand new for me. So together, the students and I will work through this and kind of figure out if there's bumps along the way. I'm really excited about it, though. I think at its heart, it will really get to getting the students being able to articulate where they are with their Spanish and really focusing on that growth. If you've ever got questions, though, please reach out to me and I would be glad to help explain this or anything else about the class. I'm open to feedback. Thank you so much for watching this. Maybe someday I'll get to meet you in person. Good night. Thanks.